Good morning, good afternoon, good evening even, and welcome to Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 4. We're in the last day of Cross Keys Week, and we have plenty of action today. Our featured race right now, however, is between the Immortals and Skull Kids. We have Duke Firebird for the Immortals and Shireen for Skull Kids. I am Radical Sniper 99, and I am joined this morning by Fear Agent. How's it going?
It's going well. Excited to watch this match. See Skull Kids trying to keep their place at the top of their division. Immortals trying to make sure that they don't get relegated. So everyone is trying to play for something, and that's always exciting.
Yeah, we are starting to see some playoff clinches in the Invitational League. Top 4 teams per division will make the playoffs. So we are starting to see that form a little bit. And then, of course, as you mentioned, we're also starting to get a better picture on relegation situations. We do have an open league, and the top 4 teams at the end of the open league season are invited to the Invitational. And the bottom 4 teams are not guaranteed, or the bottom team from each Invitational division is not guaranteed an invite next season. So, definitely worth something still worth playing for on both sides here.
Yeah, there's a clump. So in the Kakariko division, you got Magalachi at 24 points, Swirly Cone Brewing at 21 points. The Skull Kids have 18. They have 2 matches today. And then Jack Tool's Digging Game at 18 and New Swag at Jackson at 16. And then Wallflower Strife 3 at 10. Who could, in theory, still make the playoffs. So there's 4 spots between those 6 teams. So it's going to be tight. And then the Immortals and Boomer Friendly are duking it out to make sure that they remain in the Invitational. So,
but that is probably the friendliest start you could get for a Cross Keys seed, as we get a sword out of Link's house.
Yeah, you love to see it this early. I think any sort of weapon is always nice to start the race with, and then boots obviously would be just as nice.
Yeah, I think we've seen pretty much all manner of back and forth this week between good and bad starts and when we found a sword or not. So we do find out that the Useless Fairy is at the Uncle drop down.
The real question is, when are they going to find the next sword? Because it could be a couple hours until that happens.
Yeah. And we are getting that look at Tier 1, just small magics today. But there is our Smith at the Witch's Hut. So we'll see if that becomes necessary. I personally don't like to see Titan Smiths too often in this mode.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, but more often than not, you see the runners finish without Titan Smiths.
So Shireen kind of giving us the new meta of this mode. Just $50 there on our Lumberjack at the Useless Fairy dropdown. As we find out, Sanctuary is at the Pyramid.
I'm surprised Duke didn't go check out what's on the Pyramid. That isn't fully in logic.
Yeah, even if you don't want to do too much bunny walking early in a seed, and bunny walking is in logic as well, usually checking that item is a good idea. That could be your Moon Pearl even.
Yeah, it could be anything. So checking it seems like it'd probably be better than not checking it. But that means to get to the back of the escape, they're either going to need to steal a key, find the Hyrule Castle key, or kill Aga 2.
Yeah, and that's a tough decision,
Oh, there's a glove.
Was that on Lake Hylia Island?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
And there's the dam already.
So it looks like Shireen's going to be heading the same direction after doing the hula hand.
Yeah, it looks like Shireen's going to avoid the Kakariko trip yet to see how much he can find elsewhere at this moment.
Yeah. I think this is a really popular strat, is to go and check the eastern area, because Kakariko has so much. Eastern can kind of get put off for a long time. And if your opponent goes there, they might have a big advantage over you. So
yeah, this is an area where you can actually clear out all the entrances without worry. So it definitely feels a little better. And especially if we find Blind's Hut like this. Unfortunately, no bombs yet.
Yeah, Shireen's got the cash to buy some bombs if he finds some, but No, you're hoping for at least one bomb drop here while you're in blind set. And nothing. That's a really empty blind set.
Yeah, not even a map, I think, to even make some knowledge worthwhile today. Of course, we don't know what's in the back there, so that could be the prize that we're missing. And I'm surprised by the route here from Duke Firebird a little bit. I would think we go Saha Eastern to the cave, just because we don't have that glove yet.
Yeah, it's a little bit more walking around, but I'm not sure how much Duke plays cross skis. That might play a little bit into it if he doesn't play a ton. In fact, Shireen doesn't actually play a lot of cross skis either.
So Shireen is going to do a bit of the bunny walk here, or the banana walk. So we are going to get to peek this item on the pyramid ledge. And we're not even going to scout it. We're just going to pick it up.
Yeah. It's a compass. All right, so Duke not missing out on anything.
And I don't know why Shireen picked it up. I feel like this is just him deciding
it's just
a little bit of clown and fluff.
It's just Shireen being Shireen.
Yep.
All right, so Duke gonna check out Eastern, and then I'm thinking he's gonna check Saha after.
That's what I'm getting the impression of.
Still no bomb shops or any sort of place to get bombs. And you see Shireen trying to farm some 50-50 drops there and gets neither of the 50-50s.
Definitely had some.
Oh, there you
go.
Unfortunately, Duke didn't do Hooligan and doesn't have money for him, so that's a little unfortunate. But there's some bombs for Shireen. It looks like Duke's gonna find out what is at the flooded spot, since they did have an early dam.
Yeah, I like this play. It's a good way to, follow what you found. As we do see Hotel Mario there. And we're going to get a Scout of Race game. Just a heart container, so I can't imagine we're going to focus on that one unless really we're not finding stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We also did get a look at Hookshot Cave at the dam. And now Spectacle Rock.
Yeah. I don't imagine he'll drop down, but is able to at least check out what the item is. And it's King of Samaria, so that's a nice item here. We see Pod from Duke Firebird. No keys, no bow. I'm not sure if he's going to mimic clip.
I would definitely get the bombs that you can, because there's 3 freebies here. You got this one, 2 in the middle. And maybe even grind out a few extra just because he's not having the money either for it.
Just a heart piece. Do you know what sprite Duke is using there?
I do not actually know that one.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Shireen going with the Diddy Kong. Nice little bomb farm for Duke. See the fairy connector on Shireen's side. Probably not going to take any connectors right now, since you just got to Kakariko, and there's no quick way to Kakariko right now, as far as we know.
Yeah, Kakariko definitely a bit on the outside of getting in. It's just walking from Link's house every time right now. You're really hoping for a flute or boots to make this even just slightly better. I'd almost even want to see like our old man spawn point in Kakariko.
Yeah, totally. Because with Sync in the Dark World, you only have Link's house in the Light World, and with no flute, it takes, and no boots, it takes forever to get to Kakariko.
Yeah.
So. Uncle there, it's nice. A big key on the torch. That's something to remember. And there's our Moon Pearl. Nice early Moon Pearl.
Yeah, definitely going to feel a little bit more comfortable going with the Dark World walking or the bunny walking at this point.
Yeah.
or not bunny walking at all, but checking your connector. It's just so convenient now.
Yeah. Early blue mail as well. Uncle setting you up to win, I think. Giving you the moon pearl and the blue mail there. We see the left side of Turtle Rock.
And it looks like Shireen is going to go for the Lava Island and Chomps at this rate.
I mean, have fun. You're on 3 hearts and fighter sword, and there's no other small gi to get through this. So that means you have to kill the Pokey. Looks like he's going to use Samaria. Okay. Nope. Going to be swinging. One of the tougher rooms if you on low equipment, like underratedly tough rooms. If you have Fire Rod or Bombos or something that makes it easy, then it's a breeze for sure. But when you're on 3 hearts, fighter sword, everything's attacking you. It can be pretty tough. And
and there's the
Shireen
danger,
shows it.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with this. Not, spending a ton of extra time on that.
Yeah, definitely come back later. We see Dark World on Duke's side. I think that was from one of the desert connectors.
Yeah, that was our center desert entrance. Put us out at Dark Sanctuary.
Okay.
So
I really want to know what his sprite is, because now it's a weird bird.
Yeah. I saw chat say, is it Spock? And I don't think that would be Spock.
Yeah, it didn't look like Spock to me. He's going to do some bunny walking. This is a little surprising to be doing bunny walking this early when he hasn't even been to Kakariko yet. He'll probably check like 1 or 2 entrances here.
Yeah, I don't think if I had a very little left, I possibly go everywhere on this kind of loop. But given how much we have, maybe you check like Curiosity Shop and end there and then stop before you start going into like VOO.
Yeah. I mean, he's just missing out on a lot of stuff that Shireen is getting, namely that Moon Pearl. And Shireen's found Paradox Cave, so quite a bit of stuff in Kakariko. It feels a little too early to be bunny walking. Like, I can imagine checking 1 or maybe 2 entrances, but doing this before your, the main crux of the Sphere 1 checks in Kakariko feels a little loose, because you're going to be doubling all these entrances for the most part.
Exactly. I mean, that's 2 entrances already that Duke's checked, and there's a third. Like, the number of entrances that Duke is going to have to go into and then come back to with that pearl, which is really available here, is just so much.
There's that sword. So we know that a sword and a big key are locked by the boots, as we didn't really find much in Paradox Cave of real value yet.
And Shireen is going back out the way he came into Paradox Cave. Not going to check that middle or drop down entrance yet.
Yeah, it makes sense. You don't want to start using connectors when you still have a bunch of checks over here.
And there's Ganon.
Nice spot for Ganon. We see the Quarreling Brothers connector there. So a lot of connectors to take when you are ready to start taking connectors here in Kakariko.
Yeah, a lot of this, like, it's just, you can't even chase these yet. And there's a dark room.
Yeah.
No audio from our end, so I couldn't really determine what we were looking at.
Yeah. I feel like the only dark place, the dark one you really want to go through is maybe the Old Man connector to rescue the old man. But
yeah, and for all, I didn't see Shireen hold out the sword to kind of get any idea of how much he moved in the cave. So it's
Yeah.
very possible he pushed up and realized he wasn't jumping.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. Right, so what drop downs do we still have? We have a vanilla Lost Woods, and Shireen's gonna just check out vanilla. Duke taking this the bunny walking all the way to Dark Link's house, maybe even Swamp Palace, which is just very surprising.
And we found our other glove at the thief drop down.
Wow.
So that is Mitts on Lake Hylia Island now.
And that's actually Dark World access. So Shireen is able to not even have to worry about taking some of these connectors. He'll have access to.
Still no hammer.
What didn't you say you found another glove?
We know where the first glove is, sorry.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I thought he had the glove. My bad. So the age-old question: how much time do you want to go through Eastern early? It is Sphere 1.
I like an early Eastern. I know this is definitely one of the more contentious topics of the cross keys community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people don't like an early dive. People go either direction on this one. I don't think there's a right answer.
Nope.
I think it's really, you know, what have you
totally,
done?
Yeah, it's totally seed dependent because, you know, sometimes you skip it and it has the item, and sometimes you do it and it has nothing. So I'm in favor of doing it at this point. I don't like it, but I'm in favor of it.
Yeah, we'd all love or prefer to have a day where it's like I already have full access and I have a bow and the big key, but that's a rare day.
Yeah, super rare.
Our light hype cave entrance is nothing today. And Duke is just avoiding Kakariko for now. I don't hate the idea because obviously the walk over there is going to take a while. But unfortunately, we know where both gloves are. So if Duke decides to take this all the way to Ice Rod Cave, that's going to be an orphan check.
Yeah. See, and the Fire Rod. All right, so it looks like the correct call was to go into Eastern Palace today.
And the big thing for this Castle Tower find for Duke is Shireen already found one of our Castle Tower small keys. We still don't know what is at the Aga dropdown, but we do have at least one of the keys at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll find out actually pretty soon because he's pretty close to it. And we're getting word that Duke Firebird is using the TGH sprite, and TGH is a well-known speedrunner.
And Duke is not going to chase those connectors over in the Ice Rod Cave area at this point.
Yeah, let's see. Hopefully he makes his way over to Kakariko now, and it looks like he is. That's good. All right, so Shireen finishing off Eastern Palace, or what he can do in Eastern Palace, getting that Fire Rod feels pretty good. You're always questioning whether or not you should be doing Eastern as you're doing Eastern. And when you find a major item like the Fire Rod, you feel pretty validated.
Yeah, and I mean, the Meyer small key we got is not a great find, but I don't think anybody denies that it's good to have at least one of those. Does make routing Meyer a lot nicer, as we do find the magic bat at the lumberjack spot.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is magic bat at
I mean,
lumberjack?
if it's nothing, it's great, but it's one of those locations, especially when you find that first Castle Tower key, that it already starts weighing on your mind. Like, is the seed pushing me to this? It's kind of like, you know, you find the GT big key and you're like, oh no, is this a seed I have to climb GT now?
All right, so Duke going to be checking all the stuff that Shireen has done. We'll see. Because again, I'm not really familiar with Duke and how he routes. I mean, he did bunny walk for quite a while, which I was a little surprised by. We'll see if he takes any of these connectors.
Now, Shireen isn't even going to check this drop down. He knows it's something. Whether this is our...
Could be the well? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he knows where Ganon is, and he knows where Useless Fairy is, so he knows this had to be an item entrance.
Yeah. This was his last one, so he knew that it was the well then, which is nice. Getting the gloves on.
I don't think he checked... Oh, he did check Sank. So, yeah, he knew this was that.
Yeah. Big item locations haven't really been paying out too much, but getting them checked off is always nice.
Yeah, and I just realized the fact that we have Samaria and a Fire Rod, unfortunately no real Turtle Rock keys to make great use of it, but Turtle Rock, going back in there might be a little bit more incentivized at this point.
Yeah, that is true. You could do some stuff possibly. We have seen GT though, so I'm curious about what's in Tile Room over there. And Bombos. So we have both Bombos and Fire Rod already.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of Dark World access at this point. We have the Eastern Dark World all the way up to Quakefish. We have South Dark Worlds all the way to Swamp Palace, or West Dark World even. Like, we have the whole world. The only areas we really haven't been able to touch at all is Death Mountain and the Mire area.
Yeah. And for Shireen doing South Shore, he can actually clear out or check all the entrances here in South Shore, so... Did Shireen didn't do Hyrule Castle, right? I don't remember seeing
so. I think there's definitely a bit of a desire to wait a little bit, knowing where Hyrule Castle is. You might, or where the back of Escape is. You might just say, "Let me wait at least a little bit and see if I can find something."
Right, because the first check is the only check in logic without the small key.
Yeah.
And you want to debate whether or not you want to steal any of those keys because of where the back of Escape is as well.
Yeah, knowing that the back of Escape is locked by that GT climb or the small key at this point is really a tough decision. So, like, and I can't see Duke, like, Duke's done too much to do a save scum here of this key.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Half Magic's a nice find out of the cell, but once again, it's not... we didn't get any real progression out of this, so I'm really curious, what is in the back of Escape, and do we see that play soon? But here we go with the Ice Rod Cave entrances. Nothing at Ice Rod Cave itself.
Oh man, how much of Ice Palace do you want to do? You got the Fire Rod and Bombos.
Oh, I don't like this kind of situation. This one's a tough one. I feel like how many seeds have we all done where Ice Palace has had a ton,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like we have Samaria and we could definitely make a play. But do we go on to Icebreaker side? Do we go through the bomb jump side? If we go bomb jump side, I don't think we're bomb jumping.
I mean, if Hammer's in here, you could finish it off. Oh boy, there's a hook shot. I'd be really tempted to leave at this point.
Yeah, now one of the strategies I've seen some people talk about, of course, is do you go, how much time do you want to invest into an Ice Palace dip without the hammer or a glove? You're missing one of them, let's say. Do you go to Conveyor Room? steal the key, and then make sure you can, mirror or death warp back to the front, and then go through the U-shaped room with the key you stole from conveyor room.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's a lot of time, so I'm not saying this is the right strategy ever. I just know it's something that people do kind of consider every so often and talk about as an idea.
You're really hoping for an Ice Palace small here. Even if it's very unlikely, which it of course was. So Duke gonna get his Moon Pearl here. Probably will feel a little bad about doing all that bunny walking when the Pearl was so readily available. I think getting that the hook shot out of the first check of Ice Palace, though, Shireen's probably feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, his dives so far have really been paying off. Eastern giving us Fire Rod, Ice giving us hook shot. So like that's 2 nice finds already.
So it looks like Duke's going to do the same thing and try to kill this Pokey over here. Not really set up any better. It does have blue mail, but
yeah, Shireen also had blue mail that first trip. So unfortunately, like the Eye and the Pokey are both Oko, and I think even the floating skulls are.
Yeah.
Now, I do like Duke making this play, although I'm kind of surprised he's not just keeping this area closed off. And that was our 3rd Mire Small, by the way, at the Hobo.
Did we see the Mire entrance already?
I don't think we have.
Okay.
Although that is a lot of Mire if you find it.
I mean, it's a lot of Mire in Logic, and although I guess the Hobo's not in Logic, but a lot of Mire, and you have a fire source.
And there's so a pod small.
Yeah, Duke able to get through there and does get the pod small.
Now that's not interesting from a gameplay perspective. Like I don't want to oversell, oh my gosh, a pod small key. But that means 4 TR smalls blocks 6 pod smalls.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that's a lot of logical implications at this point in a seed. Oh no, nice attempt there from Duke. Unfortunately, that chomp was just sitting on him.
Yeah, TR going to be BTR for both of our runners here. Oh, the flute.
And there's the mobility.
Yeah, that is really big.
And this could really be a tough chain for Duke at this point. You know, how does Duke feel about entering Eastern Palace soon? Will he get the Fire Rod out of Eastern, or the Bombos was also a possibility.
Yeah.
But, you know, will he find those 2 items to make that play into Ice Palace for Hook?
And I don't know, I totally missed this, but Duke rescued the old man, and the old man is at Kakariko, so that's a really nice spot for the old man rescue.
So Shireen is going to check this pod area entrance. Just arrow game. Nice if you're looking for money, but Shireen's not going to play it right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's in a dire need for cash at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, with that flute, the whole world really has opened up for Shireen already, so
yeah.
Probably not thinking, oh, I need the money for Zora anytime soon, or any of the other money checks. And I think the one thing that really, you know, I'm not saying this is a bad situation for Shireen, but the one worry you have in this mode is just an overwhelming amount of options. As we find our GT entrance.
All right. That was one of the Paradox entrances?
Yeah, that was one of our Paradox entrances.
See, shaped house, just Uncle Bombs there.
And James FNX, one of Duke's teammates, pointing out that that was our middle Paradox entrance.
What was here at the castle?
I don't have it marked as anything. I think Shireen just might have forgotten to check it. Oh, it was a
Oh,
connector.
it's a connector, yeah. I'm surprised he's not just heading back to Kakariko.
I think that's because this was in Kakariko.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's nice. That's super nice.
Really heads up.
Yeah. So this gets him up to the mountain, which I feel like is probably your first check, because it will give you the old man rescue as well, which is not as big of a deal since he does have that flute, but is nice to have. So Duke still hasn't done like the Lost Woods area, which had Eastern in that fire rod. And then the fire rod, of course, led to the hookshot, and the hookshot led to the flute.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's basically how far ahead Shireen is at this point. And he finds Skull, which is with a small key completable.
Yeah. I mean, 6 Heart Fighter Moth is a fun time, but this is definitely a fight he has practiced and had to get through multiple times, so.
There's a Turtle Rock small, all right. Duke was just short pod money, so that arrow game there really coming through.
Yeah, unfortunately, Duke did miss an arrow in that, so only getting a little bit of a bonus money-wise.
Upgrade fairy for Shireen, thinking about it.
It's a tough decision. Like, that is, especially early when you don't have a lot of great equipment. Sometimes the extra bomb capacity or the extra arrow capacity really does help.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe this is why Shireen didn't do the Hyrule Castle, is it's up on the mountain. I don't think there was an entrance in Kakariko.
I didn't think so.
Okay, yeah, so this makes sense. Now the real question is, does he steal the key?
With the flute and just the convenience of movement, I believe he might. Like, I don't see it being a bad idea on his end, just with how quick he can get back up here.
Yeah.
Question in chat, why did Shireen not go beat the moth? I wouldn't say this is a logic thing, because I'm sure, Shireen and most cross keys runners will say, I don't care about logic in this mode. But, we'll get better equipment, and it's really easy to get back to at this point. Flute really just makes it, oh, I can just as easily, flute back here and get it.
Yeah, and if you don't think you can beat it, or you think there might be a chance that you don't, yeah, you're potentially losing time if you go back there and die. So why not come back with better equipment? So no save. We're not going to see him steal any of his keys to go to the back. He is going to get his half magic here, which is a nice consolation. But
yeah, I was waiting to see if maybe he did a save and quit there, because I don't know if he really got a ton out of his mountain climb yet. But
yeah, not checking Dark Cross either, which is a little surprising. You probably want to save it for when you have another, but the high roll small key. But yeah, I don't know. Probably would have checked it there.
Now, Duke did get the Bombos medallion off of our shovel spot, so that is at least, when he finds Ice Palace, that is a little bit more incentive to go for it. We do luckily have that sword from so early in the seed, and there's the bottom of Paradox Cave.
So the mountain is put in logic by a couple different ways. It looks like this is probably the old man rescue here.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty surprising. We're seeing Duke into Kakariko at the 34-minute mark. But we've really had, we've had access to other parts of this map, so I understand the choice.
Yeah, I think the problem was Duke kind of put himself at a disadvantage by doing all that bunny walking so early into the seed. Like I feel like when you're playing this mode, bunny walking is more of a last location sort of thing. I don't feel like you want to prioritize bunny walking that early. Because bunny walking is in logic. It's just you don't want to spend too much time doing it if you don't have to.
Yeah, I think the way to put it when you play this mode is, oh, is Kakariko convenient? Maybe I check my connectors then. Is Kakariko bad? Then I probably want to check all the entrances first before doing a connector.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the way to look at it, is how quickly can I get back to what I'm checking?
Mm-hmm. All right. So do you remember Duke getting the C-shaped house here that Shireen is getting right now? Does pick up his glove. We'll see if he goes in Eastern. I imagine he does. And we'll be getting that fire rod. And he hasn't. A good thing for Duke is he hasn't been over to the ice rod cave area. So when he does go there, he'll.
Yeah, there's that added incentive to check it out.
Yeah. The problem is, like, when does he do it? Because he knows all the different connectors that he's taken through the Dark World, and he knows that there's some caves that he's wasn't able to check because he was a bunny. So he might prioritize those first.
We know Mini Moldorm Cave is at the Dark Lumberjack.
Yeah.
And that is just a lot of ability to just check. That's 5 items. We had King's Tomb at the Dark Fortune Teller. And with him about to get a fire rod, that is also right side GT.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. This is the Super Bunny entrance you always want to see.
Yes, this is the best one, always. Just not necessarily the items you want to see out of it.
Yeah. It always feels bad when you open those items, but it feels a lot better knowing that you didn't have to take a one-way connector to get them. Another question I have is there anything else in Ice Palace that Shireen left there?
I mean, the one thing, like, the only item I think really becomes a worry on Shireen's side is if the hammer was on left side.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing that can really make it hard for him to want to go back there. I think as soon as he gets a hammer, Ice Palace becomes a very tempting clear.
Mm-hmm.
But if Freezor Room is the hammer, or the Ice Palace Big Chest is your hammer, even Ice Tea, those 3 items kind of become way in the back of his mind, is like, I don't want to check those 3.
I'm a little surprised that he got half magic out of Hyrule Castle and then didn't finish Skullwoods while you're there. Because half magic makes that moth fight pretty free.
Yeah, I mean, wanting to get a dungeon kill, especially like he has that Skullwood small, that definitely always feels like the right time to make that kind of play, especially with the blue mail.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Duke gets his fire rod out of Eastern and heads out. We see another Skullwoods key there in the chicken hut.
And we know where the third one is, so I think it was pointed out in chat that the third small key, that first one we got on Shireen's side, was hammerlocked, so technically the moth is hammerlocked, but even still, like, that's...
Yeah, I mean, there's still so many items, so it can't be the hammer, but it could be a million other things, so...
Yeah. Plus, we have no information crystal pendant-wise, so I think you... Like, I don't know. I don't check a lot of maps in keys modes, especially cross keys, because I feel like you just go and kill as many bosses as you can. And Shireen continuing to fluff there a little bit, getting the 10 arrows off of Dig Game.
Yeah, when he already has 30.
It's a calculated play from him.
Yeah, he loves his collection rate. All right, so Shireen heading back to Turtle Rock, this time with Fire Rod in hand, Bombos in hand. Going to show everyone the difference between Fighter Sword and Fire Rod in this dungeon.
Now, I also see that Shireen does already have a small key. Are we going to see front of TR? He's got the keys to do it.
Yeah.
He's going to have to... He would have to spend that key, then get the other pokey key. But I don't know.
I don't think so. Man, it's tempting, though, since he does have that Fire Rod.
Well, and will this information of getting the pod small kind of also inform him that maybe I do want to keep going, because it looks like the TR smalls and the pod smalls are so interlocked here.
Mm-hmm. If I was to guess, I'm going to guess that he doesn't continue, but...
I don't know. It just feels like this is a lot of effort for 2 checks right now, and that's why I'm wondering if, you know, there's more of a desire to go do this.
Yeah. Well, we haven't seen the chomps yet, right? Because Duke died at the chomps.
Yeah.
Swamp Big. Oh, he's going.
Yeah, I mean, this is 3 additional item checks, so I don't disagree with the idea. Plus, we can check out this entrance.
Yep. Yeah, I like it. All right, so Duke just routing in stuff that Shireen has seen already. We'll see where Duke wants to go now.
Yeah, we could see play back over to the desert pod area, or the desert area, which had pod. There is that liftable rock by the dam that Duke wasn't able to check earlier. But I am completely wrong. It looks like Duke is heading towards Ice, or Ice Rod Cave, and potentially Ice Palace.
Oh, Shireen failed. Oh, he does have a hook shot. Never mind. I thought he didn't. I forgot about he had a hook shot. Shame on me. I was ready to shame him for using that, for thinking that he had hook shot, when of course he did actually have hook shot. Our third sword we've seen.
Yeah, that's a nice find. And a
vanilla
TR small. Oh, and Shireen taking a death there. I don't think that was definitely not intentional. He appears to be able to get back out that front door.
I think it might have been intentional. I don't know. Because he like walked directly into it.
Yeah, tough to say. I was getting the impression he wanted to get the main door.
Yeah, I'm not sure. All right, so here's that moth kill now. And I think his reasoning is probably pretty sound, as it is just a flute away. All right, so Duke gonna get his hook shot. We'll see how much more of Ice Palace he wants to do. And then I imagine he gets his flute. So he's actually not too far behind Shireen.
No, I mean, Shireen's cleared a little bit more of the world at this point, so definitely a little bit of an advantage there, but it's not terrible. It's not like a terrible amount yet.
Yeah.
It's just like the combined effort there of, Shireen has had the extra mobility of flute for a good amount of time and the hook shot. And Duke is not going to check the rest of Ice Palace right now, or any more of Ice Palace.
Yeah, that's surprising. Not even checking Icebreaker Room is a little surprising. And Shireen gets crystal number 1.
Yeah, not sure if it's a red one, but still it's a crystal, so closer to our goal.
So Duke gonna get his flute here. That's good. Just be a save and quit away from activating it.
And we are going to get East Death Mountain now on Shireen's side, so this is a few extra checks. So yeah, Shireen chasing our entrance density. Still hasn't found that entrance that hasn't checked out the Desert Palace entrances, so he's not aware of that connector over to West Dark World. Although he doesn't even need it at this point. With the Sanctuary start and Glove and Hookshot, Quakefish, Dark Potion, and eventually a Hookshot over to that area are all possible for him. So he doesn't even have to follow a connector for this.
Yeah. Are you surprised to see Duke walk all the way back to Kakariko when he's got the save and quit spot from Old Dan there?
I think, this goes back to what you said earlier, not knowing how much Duke plays cross keys. One of the hard things for players who aren't as familiar with the mode is just that thought process of knowing what's my quick way to do this. It's really a hard skill.
Yeah, and we're being reminded he doesn't actually have the Old Man. So I thought he walked out of there. He must have just checked that entrance. So it makes sense. Activate that flute, then he can go rescue Old Man and then have that starting spot. Shireen did get the flippers though. And I think we saw a swamp somewhere.
If we did, I don't remember it, but this could be it. No, this is Para.
I think it was over in like the desert area.
Oh, James saying Duke saw it.
Oh, okay. No small key, but can check that first chest.
And Shireen finding that DDM entrance or that DDM spot, and given he's already seen the West Dark Death Mountain, he's going to give us East Death Mountain or East Dark Death Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there's another Spec Rock entrance.
Yeah.
I still won't. I don't think we see that drop down. I think if we really want to do it, and there's desert, the back of Desert Palace. Now, do you agree with not checking out the TR medallion today?
Yeah, I'm never really a fan of checking the TR medallion. I feel like there's you need so many things to open it. It feels like, and he's got 2 of the 3. I don't think you really need to waste time doing it.
Yeah, I mean, we're still a mirror and a hammer from being able to open it up anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I play a lot of cross keys, and I very, very rarely ever open up TR the intended way.
Yeah. If you're in one of those seeds, it's definitely a feels bad moment, as we do find
Yeah.
the DDM bridge, though. Although
There's the
we have
fairy
both
connect.
ways,
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely a pick your poison moment for checking the DDM bridge, specifically the Mimic Cave entrance whenever we find that mirror. So Shireen hadn't checked these eastern entrances yet, so he's starting to play a little bit of cleanup here. We didn't really have anything in these checks, but he's going to at least get these out of the way. Definitely a little more convenient just given what he has already.
Yeah, I'm curious about all those Village of Outcasts, Skull Woods area checks, because we saw a bunch of entrances that have items there on Duke's side, and I want to know what they are.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what we said, 5 with mini Moldorm. We got the 1 in King's Tomb at the Dark the Dark Fortune Teller. And of course, the big one is we just have so much in Skull Woods. In addition to the fact that we can access the back. But I think what we're going to see is I have to assume Shireen's going to finish as much as he can here. And then maybe we get that that Sanctuary start.
Yeah.
And him, go up to Quakefish and then start a massive loop of Dark World.
So how many keys lock Compass Room in GT? Logically. It's all 4 of them? Okay.
Not that it usually ever stops our runners, because they'll
Sure.
look at it and go, I've got 2, and that's pretty much all I need, but yeah.
This is some new information. I don't think we've seen this connector yet, right?
No, I don't think either of our runners have checked the dropdown. And on the same side, Duke is giving us the fake flipper checks. Or not fake flipper, he's got flippers.
I don't think he found the flippers. I still think he's fake flippering.
No, because he walked on... He's going between walking and swimming.
Oh, okay. He did get the flips. Okay.
And there's our
sick kid. Just a map.
Now, Shireen is checking these desert entrances, so he's going to end up in North Dark World very soon. Duke's seeing that bottle on the Zora ledge. Definitely not going to go for it.
I've not had a lot of money from the seed, so checking Zora hasn't really been much of a possibility for either of our runners.
I think worst case scenario with that one, we at least know where the arrow game is, and while it's not
Yeah.
the greatest location, it's at least convenient.
All right, so here we go.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of info, a lot of checks coming Shireen's way. And, as chat pointed out, we're kind of surprised Duke didn't kind of rush these as soon as he got Pearl and all the other equipment he has.
Yeah.
Is this caution of being like, I made a play to make those checks earlier, and now I don't know if I want to?
Duke sees Spiral, realizes I need to check another entrance before going through this one-way connector. All right, so we're going to get a lot of information here soon because Millennium Worm Cave is up here. I think, like you mentioned, Swamp. There's a bunch of stuff that we've seen over here that we don't really know what it is yet, but we know it has items. So
Yeah. And I feel like we're gonna pull something important soon, whether that is a hammer or other such items. Something's coming.
Hammer would be big, Mirror would be big, because Mirror also gets us access to the mitts as well.
Yeah, and that's pretty much full access to the map now.
The only real item is the big key to Ice Palace for Shireen. Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a check to see if he's got a small key to ice yet. Trying to think, do I want to go back to ice? If I had a small key, I would definitely feel more inclined to make that play.
Yeah.
But
there's
I don't
still
know
too
if I
much to
wanna go,
check.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go Ice Palace bomb jump route to check. And now Duke trying to decide what he wants to go do. I'm not sure. I was going to say the hookshot at cave entrance, but nope, not going through hookshot cave. This might be pod? And the desert lift rock here, so.
All right, and here's GT for Shireen. He says no. That's why?
I think he's going to check the other entrances here and hope to find something.
Okay.
If I get a hammer and that allows me to route in a little extra of GT, great.
Okay.
If I get boots, something out of these 3 other entrances, I feel a little better.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you do check at least the first. I mean, you can only check the first entrance here, or the first, not entrance, the first item here, and it's just bombs.
Yeah, and I think we have had a vanilla small key already this week for Swamp Palace, so a good check. Duke going with the potion or the camera unlock on right side of Palace of Darkness, so we are going to get 2 extra checks here. Already setting up for that Death Warp.
Yeah, best way to do it is with the spikes, since he does have blue mail. And now has red pen. All right.
Definitely gonna appreciate having taken that damage beforehand.
Yeah. All right, so we should be seeing tower room from Shireen here.
Yeah, it's early enough in the seed. You full clear this.
Gonna put that red boomerang to work.
I love this way of doing this room. I know there's, you can just walk around, but I love the idea of just throwing a boomerang around a bit and,
Yeah,
keeping the hands going a little bit. I think there's definitely a feeling of like, oh, good, we're working on the dexterity a little bit.
for sure. I think we saw our first 300 on Duke's side over in Pod.
Yeah, it looks like it. We did get a large influx of money.
Just 10 arrows, 50 more bucks in Pod. Okay.
Shireen cutting it a little close on the health right now. Took a little more damage than I think he was hoping, especially if he's going to make this play all the way to Ice Armos.
Mm-hmm. Does have that red potion as he just menued through.
Yeah, and we're coming up on some of the worst rooms of the GT right side. There's our Thieves Small.
The better boomerang, the third medallion.
Wait. There's a better boomerang?
Yes, the blue one is way better than the red one. Like, not even close.
I really thought we were going to be able to have a civil discussion here, but ouch.
Duke bombing to the big key chest. Won't be able to check. Oh, he's just using it as a shortcut. Okay. Gets a small key to ice. That's spicy right there.
Yeah, it definitely gives Duke only got the hook shot.
Shireen trying to do everything he can to not do the vanilla way of doing this room, and it's costing him a lot of hearts.
I was gonna say, does that actually work?
I've seen it work, but all right. So no turtle or GT big, but we'll get Bob's chest, and we'll see about Ice Armos.
Yeah, this Ice Armos fight will not be a gimme.
I mean, he bombed away all his hearts trying to get across that gap. I mean, you just have to pull the statue. That's all you have to do in that room.
Yeah.
Getting empty out his magic.
At least getting one down isn't a bad start too, because it opens up the room just a little bit.
Yeah.
It gives you always a column to not have to worry about when they're doing this attack formation. So unfortunately, Master Sword is just the worst sword for this fight.
Yeah. If he had beams, it would be nice.
But Duke now into Mini Moldorm Cave, kind of coming back to those checks he had made earlier. So there's a third Ice Armos down. Still has 3 left though.
Where did Shireen get his Master Sword?
I am drawing a blank on that one.
Front of Tito Rock. Thanks, Vortex.
Okay. Yep. And we are just down to the last Ice Armos, so I think, yep, we're just going to get some pokes. Pokes and slashes. Nicely done. We lost a heart. through that fight, but still really well executed. The big key to Thieves Town. Oh, wow. Our second castle tower small and a pod small.
That was actually pretty stacked as far as keys go there. The back of Ice Armos. Do we actually give us our first look at Skull Woods? I think Shireen will be heading there in just a second.
Yeah, as chat was pointing out earlier, you know, Shireen had not done any of, or hadn't done Skull Woods, but had done South Dark World. So this is, you know, the last bit of this area. So it was probably likely that Shireen was going to go from here north into that. Shireen did also scout that Tempered Sword now for him on the GT Torch. So he's aware of how powerful the boots are at this point with that big key and a sword being locked. And yeah, as we're also hearing, you know, there's a lot of just terrible key logic going on here to actually hit everything. GT's got quite a bit going on. And unfortunately, Shireen did get a despawn of that little magic pot in the Gibdo room. Trying everything he could to not have to do vanilla strats in this room. But Shireen will get that full magic here in the back. So we are going to get a look at this rear Skull Woods entrance. And there's Spike Cave. That's really a bad location for Spike Cave. Oh, and we have our mirror. So that is Titan's Mitts. Now, Shireen, of course, already having plenty of Skullwood small keys, is just able to say, you know what, I don't care about going for the bumper room. As he also gets his mirror. Gonna take a nice little death warp. So we'll see how quickly our runners prioritize those Titan's mitts. We're definitely getting to the point that, you know, the added mobility and just the additional checks are really that important. As we get that moth fight now on James's side, or Duke's side. And nicely done for his first crystal. So we are tied up in the crystal department at this point.
Yeah, it's actually relatively close. Shireen is in a couple extra things. You know, it has like the Turok big, or excuse me, the Thieves Town big.
Yeah, and Shireen taking advantage of that connector knowledge and the mountain start point, knowing that it is, knowing that it was right there and able to get those Titans mitts.
Yeah. I think we saw Hera on the map as a pendant. Is that right?
I missed the map check. Sorry. I think that was a Meyer pendant, though.
Yeah, Meyer is the green pendant. Pod is a crystal. I was wondering when the seed was going to open up, and that mirror kind of opens up the entire seed, right?
Yeah. I mean, the big thing, of course, is, or the big checks are, we have the Meyer and desert area now, or desert ledge area. We have Hera, which we're seeing now on Duke's side. We do have, of course, East Death Mountain as well, just not so convenient.
Mm-hmm. We find Hera. Yeah. Another pod small.
Yeah, looking like that's our fourth for Shireen at this point, and I imagine we're going to get the Hera pod at this point. No reason to not go for it. Just waiting for that magic pot to hit the ground to not mess up our vertical pixel. And going with the Philly pot. Definitely one of the simpler methods of setting it up. It's only one pixel perfect setup, so...
Oh, there's the powder, which is locked logically by the Hera big. And the boots. Oh, the boots will give us access to that as well. Because we did see the second Castle Tower key, right?
Yeah. Shireen does have both Castle Tower smalls at this point. Now, Duke is heading towards the top of the pyramid. Going to give us a look at two of the entrances. Unfortunately, no Master Sword still. So not able to show us the Aga Tower door.
Yeah.
And Moldorm is trying to give Shireen the business here.
Yeah, he really is. And he does.
Yeah.
I'll have to make fun of him for that one later.
And unless there's something behind that Aga Tower door, we did not see anything on the Hyrule Castle left and right entrances.
So I imagine Duke gonna go get his mitts now. Oh, there's another big key. Okay, to Skullwoods.
Now,
which could be something.
Yeah, the interesting thing there is, like, we just keep on finding the worthless big keys.
Yeah. So we only need information about that last pendant. Of course, the 5-6 could be required as well, but... Oh, and there's Meyer.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this find, and definitely a huge set of set of checks now.
And you know, there's 3... They have access to logically 3 small keys, since the third small was at Hobo, I believe. And they have the flippers, so everything in here is fully in logic. So I imagine there's going to be something here. And of course, it is a pendant, and so pendant dungeons always have more value, it feels like.
Yeah, especially Meyer. Like, it's not a slow set of checks. This is actually, like, relative to its time investment, it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm. There's a Turtle Rock key. Surprised because he has those keys, he didn't just head to the Firelock side. I feel like that's the...
Yeah, when you're doing Mire and Key Sanity modes, a lot of runners will tell you you do left side into right.
Yeah.
And this is Shireen's first trip into Palace of Darkness, and he's got 4 keys, so this is going to be a lot of this dungeon.
Yeah, he's got 4 keys, doesn't have a potion. And he's using this to check the vanilla big key chest. This is a little surprising.
Yeah, this is always a choice. Maybe he's going with the idea that he's going to actually check Harmless Hellway as well.
Yeah. Oh, there's our last sword. Okay.
I have to wonder if the way Shireen's looking at this dungeon is to say, I know that all 6, like my 6th TR small is locked by my 4th. My 6th pod is locked by my 4th TR, so maybe I'm guaranteed to find a 5th pod small generally, I don't want to say easy, but better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Duke's riding, he's going to be walking back and forth in the dungeon just a couple extra times, which feels, just not efficient.
Yeah, like this is the only logic I can think for the way Shireen's been routing pod. And yeah, Duke's going to have to be careful here. I think this is his last... Is this his last check, or did he not check?
No, he still has the spike, the key, the chest next to the big chest.
Yeah. Well, if Shireen wants to do a camera unlock, he can now.
Yeah, there it is, yeah. There's a GT big. Oh, that is spicy. No bow yet, but Duke hasn't actually been in to the Ice Armos yet, so he will be able to check that big chest when he goes there.
And Shireen making a liar out of me on this one, deciding not to do the Harmless Hellway.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really thought that was going to be the check for him as we get the Turtle Rock
Turtle Rock big. Wow.
And we see that we have crystals at Turtle Rock and Swamp Palace.
Yeah. Have we seen the right side of Turtle Rock entrance? I don't think we have, right?
No. Yeah, we haven't seen that entrance yet. I am surprised Duke did not take a Death Warp out of Mire. He's riding at 1 heart, and if his goal is to go get those mitts, that's going to be a really dangerous proposition here. Yeah. The bomber enemies are just some of the worst.
So I believe he can get to Laser Bridge, though, right? With the 2 keys he has.
Never mind. Yeah.
Calculated refill.
He knew it the whole time.
Yeah. He still doesn't have those mitts, though.
I do wonder if we see Duke pick up that extra bottle that we had on the ledge. Maybe if he's deciding to head back to that portal.
Yeah.
And that could have been as a play, was to pick up that bottle and use that to refill his health, and he kind of lucked out into the refill off the heart piece on Quakefish. I can't say for sure.
All right, so I want to see some Mire area. Actually, Shireen is going to give us a look at a check that we haven't seen.
Yeah, we're going to get Aga Tower.
His Diddy Kong has completely transformed with Red Mail.
Yeah, and Duke's Sprite really doesn't look too different from how it started.
Yeah. So nothing there at the CT entrance.
So yeah, all of our Hyrule Castle entrances really not paying out today. We had that nice connector at the front of Hyrule Castle, but that's really the best we got.
Dude, still skipping out on. I guess he's. I don't know. I don't know when he plans to get his mitts.
Especially now that he's doing the graveyard ledge check, and Mitts would save a lot of time on this. Like I'm it's less than a minute difference, but like it's just the ease of access here that he's really given up for himself.
I mean, he might do it afterwards, but again, like you're mentioning, just the routing wise, it's gonna hurt him just a little bit.
Yeah, and Shireen finding Misery Mire now as well. He's gonna give us this set of checks. But yeah, I think the big set of checks you and I are both kind of like, when are we going to get to see is the Mire area.
Yeah.
That combined with Desert Ledge. You know, and the Desert Front. Like, we have 4 Light World entrances and 4 Dark World entrances in that area. Like, we have all of them available right now in Logic and fully clearable because we have all the medallions even.
Yep. What do you think is going to be our last pendant?
You know, at first I would have said TR or Pod just because of how convoluted the key logic is for those 2 dungeons. But given that we know that's not the case, Eastern Desert.
Yeah, I like that Eastern call as a last pendant.
I think the worst one that we could get for Shireen is probably Ice Palace. I feel like that one, if that's a pendant, it might further remove him from wanting to return. James is in a different scenario, given, you know, he has... Yeah, Duke, I'm sorry. I keep seeing James in chat, and they are teammates.
Yeah, here soon.
And they're about to start a race. So, but yeah, like Duke, I feel like having only done 1 chest of Ice Palace, like he's definitely more incentivized. He also has a small and the big, so doing Icebreaker really isn't going to hurt him. So I have to imagine he makes the play there sooner. Whereas Shireen, you know, just has so much else to do and had done about half of Ice. Like, until he finds a hammer, I don't see him going back.
Yeah, where is this hammer?
Yeah, for as kind as the seed's been in every other department, the hammer is really not helping us.
Duke still doesn't have the mitts. I wonder if he just forgot about them being on the island there.
It's the hard part I'm having with this decision is just how much it would help this mobility and this ability to get around. Like, even if, you know, he was looking at this as I want to do GT, you know, you get the mitts and you can easily fly back to Village of Outcasts.
Yeah. And Duke going with the dodgeball method of just dodging, ducking, diving out of the way of these tiles.
Yeah, no cape, so we don't have any ways to just cheese the room.
Yeah, I like using either Samaria if you've got it, of course, which they do, or a bow. I mean, a boomerang, which they also do.
And Duke also running down to 1 heart here. And I don't know if Duke's going to have the time on this now. I think the torch is going to go out. Not that it matters.
Yeah, it's not going to matter now. Unfortunately, taking that death there. I imagine he just runs it back, though.
Yeah, we will get one extra check here from Duke, which I really like, is he has the big key.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we're still missing. We haven't actually shouted out our tracker much today. Mindful Beast doing the tracking. Big shout out to them for keeping track of all this. Pointing out we still don't have a bow. I mean, we still need a bow. We still need a hammer. Still need an ice rod because TR is a crystal. You wouldn't
We're
mind
starting to
finding
pick up some
boots
nice.
at some point.
Yeah, well, and boots very much are starting to become almost required.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure, but look at the big keys we still have left out in the world.
Yeah.
It could be Mire, which isn't a big deal, but we haven't found Thieves, which is still likely, Pod, Eastern, and Desert.
Yeah. That's
we knocked out Skull Woods and Swamp Palace. Like, we found two of the least necessary big keys.
Yeah. Even the Ice Palace big key, which logically is required, but not necessarily to beat the dungeon.
And this is definitely one of the hardest rooms for right side of GT if you're not really familiar with it.
Yeah, it's something you got to practice or be familiar with. There's a pretty easy pattern, but if you don't know it, then it can be a bit more difficult. But Duke using his hook shot to prevent a lot of the damage there. Does not have any red potions though, so it does have to be careful here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we know that the Ice Armos are locking some nice sets of keys. I believe we had a Pod Small, a TR
Big, yeah.
Was it the big or was it the small? I see the TR big already marked on Duke's side.
No, that's this. He's got. It's not the TR. It's the Thieves Town big. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely a good amount of keys available to him if he can get through this fight. Trying to grind out the kills, hoping for something.
Mm-hmm. Are we getting Dirt Cross from... I'm sure he does have a small key, so he found that Hyrule Castle small key somewhere.
Yeah, this is actually a really nice moment for him.
Just 10 arrows in the big chest. Another Pod Small. All right.
And just given Duke's current health, having to take a much safer route through here. Unfortunately, I know. Spoke too soon.
Yeah. All right, so what's back here?
Yeah, what can we have gotten instead of half magic?
Yeah, they don't have to kill Agatu now. Nada.
Yeah. Now, Duke is going to give us the race game entrance here, as it looks like Shireen's going to head for Laser Bridge.
Oh, there's the hammer.
Oh, wow. So, really was kind of getting a little worried there for James, but that finding of the hammer is massive for him.
Yeah. Duke found it.
Duke. Yeah, people.
James is his teammate, so it's close. But...
Yeah, I know. I can't stop myself anymore. I didn't.
Man, I don't know when Shireen's going to do that. That's huge for Duke.
I think one of the things that does help is that we are still missing some entrances, but when does that entrance really matter?
Duke's still missing mitts though. Has the hammer advantage, which is nice, but is still behind Shireen here.
Yeah, and I think given the entrances, like I think the only entrance we're actually missing from a dungeon standpoint is
Thieves Town.
yeah, it's Steve's Town, and I think it will be mitts locked.
Yeah. Because at this point, the boots are locked by the mitts, right? At least it feels like it.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
the
mean,
hammer. Maybe the hammer.
maybe oh, there's bomb shot. Ice and
Ice and
Eastern.
Eastern. Oh
Wow.
wow. So that is that confirmed desert as our third pendant?
Or thieves?
Oh right, thieves. Nothing
Yeah,
in ice.
Thieves.
Nothing in Laser Bridge really.
And hey, we found where Laser Bridge lets out. It is at the North Desert entrance. So I believe this means Shireen's gonna check the rest of this Mire area stuff soon, and there's a lamp.
All right. Key here on Desert Ledge is GT. Okay. I'm trying to think of some of the bigger. We've seen Mini Moldrum Cave. I don't believe we've seen Hype Cave. You seen that?
No, I don't think we've seen it either.
Blind's Hut, Mini Moldorm. Haven't seen Hype.
We've seen all of our Paradox entrances. We saw Super Bunny. We've seen Spike Cave, Graveyard. I think we saw both of our fairy fountains.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't have a ton of item. Like Hype Cave is our biggest item cave.
Yeah.
By far.
Oh, and Saha.
Saha.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. There we go. So you had to do Saha to be able to clear green Pendant Mire.
Get all the pendant big keys before any of the crystal ones. And there is mitts for Duke. We see the front of Turtle Rock, which Shrink could have actually found this, but way before he added the mitts.
Yeah, and that's interesting in that we might not have needed the mitts for this.
Yeah, it's possible.
I will say one of the unfortunate, like, I think this route has kind of worked out for Duke, but one of the unfortunate casualty entrances for Duke right now is the hammer pegs.
Yeah.
Without those mitts, if he had the mitts after finding hammer, I think he goes back and checks that, or at least there's a chance he does.
Mm-hmm. The old lady connector.
Giving us the top of DDM.
Which we haven't seen, right? Like, we haven't seen any of this stuff in the light world.
Yeah. The first time we've been here with that mirror.
So you do the light world laser bridge, right? You jump down there. Since we've seen the connector to the actual laser bridge.
Yes. Plus, we do have some convenient ways to get to the DDM bridge.
Yeah.
I do like this check.
Okay, so no connector or nothing that's going to help us. We've already seen the other side of Super Bunny. Duke back in Ice Palace, which actually could be pretty big. He can full clear it this time.
Yeah, we do have both the small and the big.
Yeah, and he's still down 2 swords on Shireen here.
Yeah, and this is, at least we have Bombos, we have a sword and the fire
Yeah.
rod, so that makes Cold Stare at least a reasonably easy fight, especially with red mail. And we're nearing almost a full row of hearts, so not too dangerous for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Shireen heading right to this DDM bridge, so I like the order on this one. And,
Yeah.
Oh, but that's the worst.
Unfortunate. Yep.
Vanilla Mimic Cave.
So the atrium only having a heart piece. Shireen hasn't missed anything there. We'll see if there's anything else in Ice Palace. I feel like we might see. I just have a gut feeling that boots are going to be here.
And there's our checkerboard entrance. Just a heart container, though.
Ooh, there's a big key to Eastern, which is very required.
Yeah, and we're actually just a bow from Pyramid Fairy entrance. Because we do have full logical clearability of Ice Palace now with our equipment, and a bow gives us Eastern.
Okay, so leaving early was a good call for both of our runners because there was nothing else that they could have gotten.
And this might be the play. I was about to say this is the play towards race game, but his walking does not seem to indicate that to me.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the mitts and you've got the smiths, the mirror and the flute. I feel like might be a good call at some point. All right, on to Cold Stare for Duke Firebird.
Yeah, this will give him a crystal advantage with this one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Bumper is French vanilla-ish?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and Mire Shed.
That was the other item cave we were really missing.
Yeah.
I think we were missing too many others, so nice find.
Turtle Rock Small. That's 4?
Yeah, that's our 4th Turtle Rock Small for Shireen, so that does put those that one pot small we found earlier into logic.
Nice. Yeah, still need to find Hype Cave. I think Shireen should be close to getting his hammer soon. We'll probably do Graveyard Ledge and then head over to Village Broadcasts. So Cold Stare taken down with relative ease from Duke Firebird. Nicely done. First look at Ice Palace, I believe. I don't think Shireen did this.
I think we saw it from Shireen. It was nothing.
Oh, we did? Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so I think it's safe to say at this point, we haven't seen the Meyer entrance.
We've seen
right?
Meyer.
Did he open it up?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I thought he mirrored and then went through the connector.
Meyer entrance was TR front.
Oh, okay. So we haven't seen Turtle Rock entrance, which they can do. Other than that, I feel like everything else is now boots locked, right? Or hammer locked, like the hammer pegs?
We've got hammer pegs soon. We've got the TR front entrance. A bunch of boots locks checks, as you said. But yeah, I think that might be it. And Pyramid Fairy is bow locked.
So where are the bows?
Yeah, I feel like a bow or boots is our next big piece to kind of do something.
I don't know if I agree with Shireen doing Smiths before race game. Of course, I do have the knowledge that the hammer is there, but
I mean, with how convenient this Smith check is with Flute and knowing that Smith is at Potion Shop, it's not the worst one to go for.
Yeah, it's true. Pod is gonna be Pod. Oh, Hera.
Oh no,
Gross.
I don't think that sends him back to Hera anytime soon. But that's a bad find.
No.
I think we're still missing the Swamp Palace small key.
Yeah.
Although we are going to get that TR entrance check now from Duke.
So I believe this is one of two entrances that we haven't seen that are left. Right?
Yes.
This and hammer pegs.
And it was double Quake medallion for our entrances.
Okay, so Shireen will get his hammer here.
Is he picking up the heart container on race game?
Of course. We get bonk rocks, just a heart container. Okay. Nice blue refill too. So what are the runners supposed to do? I feel like what's left at this point? I guess left side of GT, right?
Yeah, left side of GT is looking really tempting. I'll be curious what we get off this purple chest check. Maybe this has an answer.
Yeah.
But really, it's got to be boots or bow is really our big next step.
Yeah.
You know, whether this is something convoluted like, oh, you need the boots to get the magic bat, or the bow to get Eastern Palace, or even a GT climb now.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Once they get that bow for the GT climb.
I mean, I think for Shireen at this point, you know, after finishing purple chest, I think we see Ice Palace the clear there. It's the most logical step for him. We might see James, Duke, please. Duke head there sooner, just because like his clear was, you know, already made of ice.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he's looking at Hera sooner. Although finding TR could send him that way.
Yeah, he'll be getting his Master Sword here pretty soon. And it is looking like ice for Shireen here.
Yeah, we are starting to enter late-ish game stage. Like, this is still, you know, we still have a ways to go to finish this. We're missing a lot of big keys and items to finish this. But for Shireen's and Duke's perspective, you know, clearing dungeons is the goal. Like, I don't think you focus on your entrances, especially because we've done almost all of them. Like,
yeah.
I think the lucky part here is, given that GT is at C-Shape House in Village of Outcasts, that does mean that the two entrances we have there, I completely forgot. We have two hammer peg entrances in Village right now.
Oh, right.
We've got the hammer peg house as well as the hammer pegs themselves. So that's two entrances possible for Thieves Town. So I have to imagine we're getting that check soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this play from both runners, I completely agree with the idea here. You know, this is a lot of checks for Duke, especially having missed this entrance or this item earlier.
Yeah.
And this is a clearable crystal for Shireen. So
there's a swamp big for Duke there. Shireen does get his Eastern big. There is some like random checks like Skull Woods big. I don't think we've seen that, right?
no, I don't think we saw that one. And I think what you can take from that maybe is you say, let me finish the left side of GT. Especially, you know, Shireen has the GT big and wasn't able to check it. And Duke had taken the death trying to get to Ice Armos. So I think for both of them, there's a lot of incentive for that play.
Yeah. Duke getting his lamp.
Yeah, I think, you know, chat's saying it's more attractive to Duke. I think I think what makes it so attractive to Shireen at this point is he's checked so much. Like, I think for Shireen, he's kind of cleared out all of his entrances, cleared out a lot of one-off checks. So for him, like, the dense location is GT. For Duke, it's very similar in that has the Ice Armos fight.
Mm-hmm.
But nice burning of Cold Stare using the sword beams to help duplicate fire rod shots. So really quick fight. And Duke is going to head back to the Crystal Roller Room, I think. Yep. And Shireen heading into Village of Outcasts, so I think this is the GT play for him.
Yeah. Yeah, this gives you the most items. So we're bound to find a bow or boots. Something.
Yeah,
feels like this will unlock the seed at some point, right?
Yeah, and even if we find really nothing here, we do have the two entrances in VOO,
Yeah.
and then it just becomes that oh so unenviable position of cross keys, of checking your one-off locations. Mimic Cave, of course, the Skullwood's big chest, and there's our desert big.
Yep.
And our fourth GT small.
There you go. There's still Meyer big and Vidi as well. Those are possibilities.
Yeah, we have 3 items in Meyer. We have the big chest, Vidi, and green pendant turn-in.
Yep.
So that's a nice, appealing set. I think the one thing kind of keeping us away from that is just, you know, it's not a terribly long check, but getting back up to Dark Potion Shop. Although that makes it a lot better.
Yeah. There's Mimic Cave, right? We haven't seen Mimic Cave yet.
Yeah, we saw Mimic Cave was vanilla.
Right. It's there,
So,
but yeah.
That's not a fun one to get back to either.
Right. There's a bunch of like off locations that just kind of stink that are left.
So I will say for Shireen at this point, I think the chain, if I was in his position, is I am going to check my 2 hammer peg locations locked here in VOO, as we're now seeing from Duke. That first one is not it, but I think you do those 2 checks. Then I head up and do Bonk Rocks, King's Tomb, into Mire.
Yeah. So Thieves Town is a pendant. Desert is our last crystal. Thanks for again to our tracker Mindful Beast for checking that out.
So yeah, maybe we don't even need Thieves Town. I mean, not that it's going to be necessarily locked out of or locked by anything too insane, but how much do you care now? Is like, if you find thieves, do you want to full clear it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm also with the boots being here, Shireen not bomb jumping is a little silly because he showed me how to do the bomb jump over. I guess they didn't have hammer. Never mind. I kept thinking they had the hammer, not the not the hook shot. So gosh, I am off my game today.
And we are getting the gold sword.
Of course, why not?
Wait, how much did Duke do of GT there? Did Duke not do left side?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, Vortex in chat saying Duke got the desert big and bailed.
That is very surprising.
Yeah. Just with how many items he still had left in GT, I am genuinely shocked by that decision.
All right, I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Radical Sniper here. I'm going to get off to commentate the other race, the one with the real James in it.
Yeah, the actual James.
Yeah, over on SpeedGaming 3. So good luck to everyone, Shireen and Duke Firebird, as they finish off this race, and we'll see you all over on SpeedGaming 3 once this one is over.
Yep. Good luck to our runners over there. And thank you to Fear Agent for hopping on to CoCom for these first couple of hours. As Shireen does find the Turtle Rock East entrance at Bonk Rocks. Unfortunately, just some bombs in that chest, so a nice entrance to find. It is an item entrance that is unique, but not one that actually helps us move along. And there's Hype Cave at King's Tomb. We get our second Ice Palace small key. Our Mirror Shield, just some money, a heart piece, and the cape. So nothing really coming out of Hype Cave, unfortunately, today. The question becomes, what's our next play? And I think Mire might be our best play at this moment. You know, maybe you go back for Desert, beat Landmo, pull the Desert big chest. So yep, Shireen is giving us the Desert big chest first. And also getting the big key off the torch. He knows that there's a big key on this Desert torch. And this is a great little link here. You know, Desert Land Molus isn't necessarily going to have progression just because of our Q situation. So I really like this play. And it is our big key to Palace of Darkness. So Duke needs to get back to GT. He cannot put that one off too long. And just a map to Eastern Palace there in the big chest. So definitely a good find. Unfortunately, still missing a bow. For go mode at this point, we do need the bow and the ice rod. But really, it is starting to come very quickly, the pieces for Shireen to finish this seed out. And as our tracker Mindful Beast points out, hey, bow on powder. It's definitely in logic, and yeah, that's gross, but we'll see what happens. We are getting Mimic Cave now from Duke. Unfortunately, sword beams are not a great time here. Definitely, if you can hammer them, go for that. Trying to get them in. There we go. There's 2 of them down, and there's the other 2. So we are going to get to see Mimic Cave here from Duke. And just arrows, so that is not the item either. So Shireen going for his next crystal here. That'll be crystal number 3 for Shireen. Meanwhile, Duke does also have 3 crystals already. Did not do Hera. I don't think he's actually found Hera yet. So, but it does appear he may be heading back into GT. Nice kill there from Shireen. And Duke's still not going back to GT. This is really, I mean, this is kind of the question in chat right now: is why did he leave, and why has he not really gone back for the clear here? It's a lot of time to miss on the investment here, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, at this point, Duke is kind of just gonna. I think this is a sunk cost for him. Is saying, I left GT. If it's on Ice Armos, if it's on left side, I am just kind of resigning myself to the fact that I have given up that time. And you know, it stinks because we know that's the boots, and we know that there's some valuable keys back there. But I don't blame him. But I mean, if you want to tell a story of this seed at this point, I think the clear advantage for Shireen is really, you know, early flute gave him a lot of mobility at that point, and then of course the earlier boots. These are 2 advantages that he can just keep on working from. So Shireen checking that Tower of Hera entrance. And yeah, unfortunately, it's also the money walk. It wasn't, you know, I definitely think I am a full advocate for bunny walking. I love doing it many times in cross keys. It's just sometimes it does not benefit you the way you hope it does. And this is kind of one of those situations where we had an early Moon Pearl at Uncle. And this is what, you know, Duke has had to make those double dips, had to make the returns to item checks, whereas Shireen's had a little bit more of an advantage being able to fully do things. We are going to get Mimic Cave now also on Shireen's side. Duke is back into pod. We'll see what extra checks we get that he did not make earlier. It looks like we are going to get the vanilla big key chest. So that will be Tempered Sword now for Duke. And I will be right back. And we see that Shireen is into Thieves. That entrance was away, but Shireen does find the bow. So at this point, Shireen really is just looking for the ice rod. Oh, and Swamp Palace Small. Correct. My bad. Mindful Beast reminding me that we do not have the Swamp Palace Small key at this point, and that is definitely a requirement to finish this one. So we are getting that back of Hyrule Castle checks on Duke's side. Definitely one of the denser plays, but still kind of just not wanting to touch that GT. He really has kind of just made this a forced last location on his end. Yeah, did who miscount? Yeah, I think what we're kind of assuming is that no, we have not seen the Spike Cave play again. But yeah, as Vortex in chat is saying, it appeared to have just been an aggressive decision from Duke. You know, thinking he was a bit behind at this stage of the game, and you know, after getting a key that was required for Go mode, you know, hoping that that was the answer, and unfortunately, it just didn't pay out as much as we would have hoped. Yeah, I mean, realistically, Spike Cave, Skullwood's Big Chest, and, you know, Ped, all that kind of stuff, I think that becomes kind of a group after Meyer. Although, Shireen heading back into the Lost Woods right now. Oh, this is going to be another dungeon clear, duh. We are getting Eastern Palace, so he's on dungeon clear mode. You know, from his mindset, beat the crystals. So we're gonna see Eastern, and I assume Pod right after that, and then hopefully that sends him either an Ice Rod for the Turtle Rock clear or the Swamp Small for the Swamp Palace clear. So he really is just hoping for the Go Mode items to fall into the dungeons he has left. We didn't get anything new in Eastern or that Meyer Big Chest yet. So there's a chance that Duke finds one of those items here. But depending on when this, you know, if the bow locks one of our other items, we still haven't found the other bow. So there's a chance that Duke gets, you know, a little lucky with that find, but we do know you need the boots. And just a map to Ganon's Tower. Unfortunately, Duke not at the right health for a kind of an NMG Vitreous fight here, so really going to have to play this extra safe. Duke taking down Vitreous as Stream heads for Bombo's Tablet, and there's a big key to Tower of Hera. And just another heart container off of Bombo's Tablet, so... And yeah, you know, Pedestal, Magic Bat, these are one-off checks that are starting to come into focus. And the question is, you know, when do you want to dive? But Duke, you know, going with the fact that, hey, I just got green pendant, and I know where Sahasrahla is, I'm just going to run with this check. And unfortunately, unless that Tower of Hera's big key is, you know, the next piece or an important piece of logic, not going to help Duke yet. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't see a lot of outs for Duke, unfortunately. The boots are just compounding even more and more. And Shireen is starting to clear up crystal dungeons pretty quickly. Yeah, and really that's the big issue here is Duke just has so much in GT. We've got the 5 items still on left side, or 6 items on left side between the Fire Bar, the Fire Snake, and Rando Room, and then we have the 3 behind Ice Armos. So really a lot of checks are available to him, and he's really just, yeah, hard committing to not doing it. Oh, and Bob's chest, true. So, that's 10 items at this exact moment for him, and it's just not even on his list of checks, it feels like. But Duke is in the Tower of Paris, so we are going to get to see the base and the big chest, and probably just a full clear of this dungeon. At this point, this could help. These are 2 checks we have not seen from Shireen. And we get a small key off of Ether Tablet to Swamp Palace. So at this point, Shireen just an Ice Rod from... Yeah, for those, curious of how we got to this point, I'd say, Shireen and Duke were pretty close. Shireen had done more checks, but had kind of, gotten to the same point, and they were roughly in GT at the same time. So both of them in GT, relatively close to each other for the left side checks. Duke had an early hammer advantage, but after Duke did the Stalfos room on left side, decided to bail out, while Shireen went full in on it and, got some nice pieces. Duke also took a death before Ice Armos, and we know that we have at least the Thieves Town Big Key there, as well as a few other checks. So this is really starting to shape up. There just aren't many outs for Duke anymore. Yeah, and that's the other worry is Thieves Town. you know, given that that's where our book was, and getting the Swamp Small off of it, which we seed, it's just another piece that when, and really it feels inevitable that Shireen is going to find that Ice Rod soon. There just aren't a ton of options. Like at this point, if we don't find Ice Rod off Argus, I think it's pretty much given that Shireen's going to come back in, give us the last 3 items here in Swamp, and then probably Right Side Desert not soon after. Those are kind of the big 5 for him. And just the map off of Argus. So I guess we're going to get Left Side Swamp. So we are seeing that second check from Agatower for Duke. Unfortunately, he did not have the small key his first trip in. If I had to take a guess for Shireen, I feel like Right Side Desert is the best play for speed. That's probably where I would go, but that's only a guess if it's not here. Because really at this point, Eastern's clear, Hera's... I don't feel Hera's a good play on his end or something he wants to make for. Swamp will be done, Pod's done, Skull's done besides Big Chest, Thieves is done, Ice is done, Meyer, TR's done at this point besides Shrine X, of course, and then Meyer's got 2 checks, or 3 really. So I think quickest checks for him is Desert Right. And yeah, if I was going to do a chain to end up with that Spike Cave, I think you definitely do Meyer into Spike and Ped and Skull Big. Like, I think those checks all just kind of line up together. And at this point, GT could be his last location. He might not want to do that climb. But he finds the silver arrows. And yep, this is Desert for Shireen. Because that is the Desert right, or the Desert left entrance. And it is not our desert checks, so let's see where Shireen's off to next. And yeah, we're getting the GT climb early as Duke goes for Skull Big. And unfortunately, doesn't have an invincibility item yet. I don't think he has a potion either, so I don't know if we even get to see Spike Cave. Yeah, I know we had some potions along the way here, but I think we had spent them all, so we'll see what happens. In terms of when Shireen got those boots, I think we're at like the 35-minute mark. Yeah, so it's been about a 35-minute advantage now for Shireen. This is not an insignificant amount of time at this point, unfortunately, for Duke. And luckily, Duke is heading there now. But, yeah. And really, like, there is no way around the reclimb eventually if there is the ice rod locked behind this. And it's not. So, what we do know is that Duke could avoid this. So, there is time to save. It's still not a great situation, though. Because really, Shireen is just continuing to knock out the checks. We have seen all of Turtle Rock except for Trinex, so we know that it's just an ice rod. And we have seen all of Meyer, so we didn't get the Aga 2 kill because we do not need it. The only thing behind Aga 2 was the back of Escape, and we did have the Hyrule Castle small key, so we have gotten those chests already. So at this point, I do I do think the route for Shireen's kind of set. You know, take down Vitreous, maybe turn in Green Pendant, then do Skullwood's Big Chest, Spike Cave, and Pedestal. But if it's not those, I mean, the one thing that's really kind of looming still is Magic Bat at Agate or at Lumberjack. I mean, that's definitely kind of at the last location. And yeah, luckily Duke staying in GT after getting the boots this time. We do know that the Thieves Town Big Key is here, so this is a requirement. So but yeah, just, you know, there's still so much that Duke hasn't been able to check, and Shireen's just kind of been able to, you know, just hit every moment. So Shireen is going to last location probably a bit sooner, and that's only going to help him maintain his lead. And Shireen turning in Green Pendant now, so, you know, as we said, he's really just going from in line here. This is definitely his next quickest check. I think Spike Cave and possibly the Pedestal is right after this. But we do have Duke into Thieves Town. And unfortunately, you know, I don't disagree with Duke getting that bow and leaving. But he will have to go back in there for the book, as we saw earlier, just based on the fact that Swamp Small off of Ether Tablet. So really a tough situation here. This has not been a friendly seed for the runners. Yeah, I mean, I'll be very curious to see the CR. Just because he's definitely been pretty much full clearing everything up to this point. I mean, I feel like we're getting to the... Between Shireen full clearing everything and some of the fluffing he's done up to this point, I feel like we're going to see a plus 200. And this looks like it is going to be... This might be Spike Cave and Skullwood's Big Chest and a read of the pedestal. Oh, right, he does have all 3 pendants. You're right, my bad. I just kind of forgot how much we've had done already. And in Spike Cave, yeah, not the answer in Spike Cave, but here we go with Ped. And pedestal is... It's the Ice Rod. Oh my gosh, this is a full-blown Ped seed. Yeah, I mean, at this point, we were looking at either dungeon clear from Shireen, having to do Aga 1 for the bat at Lumberjack, or this, so... So Shireen back to the North Desert entrance, because this is Laser Bridge, and just has to take down Trinex and then go back to Kakariko for our Ganon fight. As Duke is back into Thieves Town, so we'll be getting that book soon, as well as the final pendant, so... And yeah, we really don't have a ton of options left for that mushroom. There's the mushroom. And I mean, if you really want to see a lovely tracker here, how about that for Shireen? That's every item, every key in the game. Oh, 2 bottles, dang. And we know where one of those are. We did see one of those bottles at Zora. Meanwhile, Duke going through Thieves Town. Shireen into phase 3, though, for Ganon. Should be done pretty quickly at this point. Silver's butter, everything else. This is really just a formality at this point for Shireen. There's our first silver arrow. Shireen gonna line up for the triple here. Looks like we might have a setup. Nice triple. And that is going to do it on this one. Shireen just having to cross that 1x3 bridge to finish this one out. Get those GGs in chat for Shireen and Skull Kids. And there we go. Shireen finishing officially in first place with a race time, that GG time of 2:35.40 for the win for Skull Kids. And as I said, game 2, or the second game between these two teams, has started as well, with between Gamachu and, I believe Gamachu and James FNX. So that one is already happening. As we are now joined by Shireen. GG.
Hello. GG.
So how about that seed?
You know, I felt good for the first bit, because when I got the flute after I got the hook shot, I'm like, okay, you know, I went into ice and I got that early hook shot, and it just dragged on forever. That ice rod was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, you usually don't anticipate, like, I feel Pet is almost even less likely in cross keys, so really quite the
Yeah, Ped, I never really expect Ped and cross keys, especially, you know, just key sanity in general, the logic. But, like, the book was super late. It was one of my last entrances, Thieves Town. And I wasn't going to check Ped, because being one item for go, I'm like, oh, I'm still missing the Hera big key. So let me just go for everything that I can. And it was, the, like, second to last place I checked, basically.
Yeah, I was very curious, you know, I'm really curious on your CR, because not only did you pretty much full clear, I mean, you always joke about the fluff, and really on this one, you kind of couldn't avoid it in some regards, but you picked up a ton. I've got to believe this was over 200.
It was 208.
Ooh!
Yeah, there was a scoutable big keys, scoutable mitts, a lot of scoutables that were required.
Yeah, I can think of at least 2 of the scoutables you skipped being Race Game and Zora Ledge, so...
Yeah, I think I also skipped, like, that third key in Skull Woods.
Right.
You know, I never ended up doing Lumberjack, so, you know, there's a few things.
And unfortunately, it does appear that we had a forfeit from Duke right after pulling the pedestal for that ice rod, as we are now also joined by Duke Firebird. GG's.
GG's.
Yeah, we were just talking. This is quite the rude seed.
I have words that I cannot say. Let's just say
Understandable.
that. Oh man, this thing was nasty.
Yeah, I don't see a situation where you don't nearly full clear just because of that ice rod. And especially, you know, Shireen, you kind of went with a lot of full clear first found dungeons, especially like the Thieves Town one and some others. Duke, I know on your side, of course, you know, you get that bow out of Thieves Town and don't have. You did have the Thieves Big, but decided to leave. And unfortunately, the book was just required for this one. I'm sure you guys talked a little bit about you're missing Swamp Small. So
Yeah.
and then of course, I guess Duke, I do have a question about, you know, take us through kind of that left side GT play. I know that one kind of hurt, but
Well, I mean, I was coming down to where the heck is anything at, and literally left side GT was density.
well, I mean, when you got the Desert Big and left. Sorry.
Oh. I was like, okay. I was more like, my goal was like, I'm just focusing crystals.
Fair enough.
So it's like, okay, crystal dungeon, let's go. It's like, I haven't been finding anything in dungeons, so it's like, I highly doubt I'm going to find anything in GT. So, but...
Yeah.
Plus, also with that, my first dip in GT, aside from doing Bunny Revival, dying on the way to Ice Armos, and I just kind of said, okay, I'm not clearing GT unless I have to.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were assuming at that point, is it was a hard gamble, just given what had happened in the seed.
Yeah. Also, fun hammer location.
And that was actually, like, we were very, you actually had a bit of an advantage on the hammer find.
Wow.
Yeah, Shireen went quickly to the mitts after getting that mirror, whereas you were made some mirror checks early, so you had a hammer first. So
yeah,
there was some back and forth for sure.
Yeah, I mean, knowing where the mitts were, I was like, okay, what does the mitts really lock in a cross case seed? It locks King's Tomb, which I don't have boots, and it locks Ice Palace for the most part. A couple easier ways to get up Death Mountain, but I was like, I don't really need to rush to get those. I'll get those when I'm going on my way over that way. And plus that I knew that Ice Palace was over there. I was like, okay, I'll just clear ice and then come grab them. Or grab them, go to ice, and then check the Ice Palace main entrance.
Right.
Yeah, the mirror spot was not kind as far as a thorough routing, because of where the flute was, I had an early old man rescue. And when I went out the old man back and it took me to basically that South Dark World, I cleared that out and I'm like, okay, at this point, because I have South Dark World, I kind of have to last locate Skull Woods, in the sense that if I get a connector over there, I'll do Village first and end at Skull Woods. So when I did get that mirror, everything else was cleared except for those two mirror entrances, like by left side race game.
Yeah.
So I just, I picked up my mitts, I did things like Mire area and all these other things, and it just took me a while to get back there, honestly. Like, I think I had the purple chest with me when I picked up the hammer. It was just so funny.
Yeah, and, as you said, like, I don't know if the mitts did much for us in this seed, besides, like, the ease of movement. We found that front of TR was Mire, so even those entrances that were required in that area, you definitely had a way to get around to it.
Yeah. I think actually, the mitts actually unlocked the easiest way to get to Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, no, for sure. Agreed with you on that one.
Yeah.
I think I surprisingly used that Paradox Cave connector like 3 times.
I used it once unintentionally because I was exploring, and then the second time I was like, okay, let me get it back up there, and I knew exactly where it was. I was like, okay, I was okay with that one. But then I had no reason to go back up to Dark Death Mountain for a long time. So,
by the way, how many connectors were in CAC? Like, my God.
Yeah.
Let's see. There was Spectacle Rock, Paradox.
Yeah, you had Spec Rock, Paradox, Fairy Ascension, Hyrule Castle,
Hyrule,
TR,
the Brothers Connector,
Connector, Old Man, and then there was also Death Mountain Descent Cave. and Sanctuary was in the worst spot too, so it really felt like a lottery early on, where like it's like, oh geez, I have like 8 connectors and getting to CAC is a pain. This is just not gonna. You already knew it was gonna be rough.
Yeah, that was like my initial opening start was like, okay, Link's house. Okay, ooh, sword. Okay, cool. Let's go check Hyrule Castle and the Uncle Drop. Okay, saving point sank. Never mind.
Well, and I have to say, Shireen, we did notice that Field was here co-comming for a while before joining on to the other race between your two teams. Mentioned, after you got the flute and you started at Link's house, we're like, what path are you taking to activate that flute? And then you took that Brothers connector back into Kakariko, and we're like, oh, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I don't know if that's faster, but I feel like it was.
It felt like it. I'll agree with you there.
The Brothers connector, yeah. With the way this seed was laid out, yeah.
And there it is,
Barely.
that 208 you said. Whew.
Yeah, that's a juicy one.
Oh, you're only missing a heart container, 2 pieces of heart, bottle.
Yeah, and the mushroom was on Trinex, and
Oh god,
it was just.
I was gonna say, we know where the container is and we know where the bottle is.
yeah.
Where's the container? Oh, did I see a container? Was that race game?
Yeah, that was race
Yeah,
game.
race game.
Okay.
But I thought you might have gone for it, but you had the purple chest with you, and I think it was more trouble than it was worth at that moment.
Well, listen, I was gonna grab stuff that was like kind of on the way just to like get it off of the list, but I didn't want to like go out of my way to just fluff for no reason, although I did grab a shield and like K45 and stuff like that. I just instinct.
Yeah.
I just grabbed it. I don't know.
Yeah, I almost grabbed that heart container, and then I pulled one from where I was at. And I said, oh, okay, I don't need that one.
So yeah, as we said, game 2 between your team actually. Well, so Duke, your team, it's James, correct?
Yes.
And then Shireen, who is running? Because I got it wrong. Is it Ramon running?
It is Ramon's, yes.
Okay. So yeah, that is game 2. Of course, we are just about done with Cross Keys Week, and then we've got 2 weeks left of the season. So quickly nearing the end of the regular season here.
Yeah, it's flying. I got like a ping to start like scheduling matches for the following week, and I'm like, are we just like almost done already? Like I hear people are clinching.
Yeah, invitational playoffs are starting to take shape a little bit. Of course, with 4 teams per division, it definitely increases the odds of seeing a clinch of a spot super quick. So yeah, that's very understandable. I'm guessing Skull Kids are pretty close to a clinch at this point.
Yeah.
The division has been pretty tight. I think right now it's like us and Magliacci at the top, and then Swirly Coin and Shack Tools is like right behind. So, we're in a good spot. We play Shack Tools in the final week. Basically a win there gets us in, but we're obviously going for the 1 seed, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you will either be tied for first or second in the division, it looks like, depending on the result of game 2. And of course, for the Immortals, your big question becomes, it looks like between you guys and Boomer Friendly is the races to watch out for here.
Yeah, and the best thing is I think we're gonna have to relook at the tiebreaker scenario, because our series is actually both of our wins we split. So
yeah, this division has definitely been one of the brutal divisions, and I feel like we say that about all of Invitational League, but I mean, look up and down the Kakariko division, and this is definitely one of, I think this is a division full of names where at every way you're like, I know these people and I know how dangerous these people are.
Yeah. No doubts there.
But I guess the question, of course, now is any other comments at this point? I think we're probably going to send a raid over to, is it SG3?
Yeah, it's on SG3.
So yeah, I think we might send a raid over there, but I will recommend that if you want to continue watching more cross keys, to definitely check that out. But any other comments from either of you?
No, good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
So-
you two guys.
Yep.
And thanks for the commentary and the restream.
Yes.
Yeah, big shout outs to Mindful Beast helping out with the tracking today. Really appreciate it. Having, everything always so we know what's going on. And yeah, shout outs to Fear Agent for helping out with comms early on. It's always nice to have a co-com when doing cross keys, especially if you want to kind of keep track of entrances. Do make sure to give a follow to our runners for putting on such a great show. And make sure to follow Speed Gaming 1 through 6, as there is plenty of league action left. We have, as I said, just 2 more weeks of the regular season before we hit the playoffs, and the playoffs will be just as amazing, and you'll get to see more cross keys. So until then, however, have a great rest of your day. I've been Radical Sniper 99, and thank you all. See y'all later.